Hello, I'm Steve Patterson. I want to tell you a little bit about the books that I wrote in 2025 that have to do with various approaches to mental health, ranging from holistic to clinical, mostly forming around habit formation and things along those lines, negative tendencies that we might have, all the way into clinical addiction. I am not selling counseling. I am not selling coaching. These books are intended to be tools for a variety of and multiple domains that I feel require a certain amount of human expertise. And that's where you come in. We have the Healing Pathways, which has a facilitator and a companion edition for a 12-week program that has a variety of approaches to changing your life in general, all around basically the stages of change model. These books are for anybody from coaches to facilitators to counselors in training, supervisors even. They're not meant to teach you how to do these things. They are simply meant as a reminder of ways that you can get through an entire seamless 12 weeks of sessions to cover all of the bases, depending on which of the paths that are available. So they're tools, they're not services. It's up to you to already be in position to be able to use these tools based on the knowledge and training that you have, whether you're a supervisor that's trying to reinstill this into the counselors that you're training, or if you are a budding counselor in training on your way up, you're still looking at the same kinds of tools. These are featured in formats throughout the course of 12 sessions to where all of it is applied to the group or to the individual. The Healing Pathways is not interchangeable really with the ASAM, other than the fact that they follow the general change process. There is, however, at the end of the healing, an ASAM overlay that is not meant to be clinical. It's only meant to be informed. Perhaps if that also happens to be something present in an individual or a group that you can have an idea. And this would also be steered towards people with training appropriate for that. Healing Pathways is non-clinical itself. It is paper only by design. I'm not making this available online or on any kind of digital platform. It only can be bought in the book form because I believe this is a human-centered approach and needs humans to be together. Even if they are online, at least they can hold the same physical material. It's not a printout from someplace. It's arranged the same for everybody. And it also provides space for people to journal and things along those lines. There are online resources available that can go with it, but to do the program itself, it requires the books. It's narrative and identity. Meaning is more about why things happen. And so really with that, it's a much more human touch, and it requires much less systems thinking maybe than the ASAM one does, which is available. We also have the psychedelic assisted context, and I just put that in there because in one of the modalities that I have experience in a book not from this year involves the more psycho-spiritual when it comes to things such as shamanism and traditional healing practices like that. And there's some elements of that in here when the mindfulness approaches that would go well in a psychedelic assisted therapy group for an outpatient type of group format. I don't believe there's one out there right now. There might be a model for that. If not, this could be a place somebody out there could start and develop from here, take it from here. And so the Facilitator Guide for ASAM is for counselors in training and above. And even on the way down, even if, yes, even the supervisor, the master addiction counselor, whatever it is in your state or whatever, it is clinical. It is all laid out. It has full ethics in there. It has a full telehealth guidelines. It has everything about trauma informed. It has all the ASAM criteria in depth. It has all the various tools that most of us are familiar with, multiple different kinds of grounding exercises. It assumes a baseline competency in these things. That's why it has to be for at least a counselor in training up. But they're sort of not the fundamentals of it, but sort of how to maybe throw it out there as it comes up. There's examples on how to roll with the resistance with things like for motivational interviewing. They're tucked in there, so you have some ways to deal with this. If you wanted to, you could just literally use it as a map for 12 weeks, and you would at least to go. The way that it's structured is it's in 3 blocks of 4 that sort of roll following a general change process, the stages of change. And as it goes from inside the individual's world to outside the individual's world, it covers a lot of grounds as far as triggers and things along those lines. But then we move into SMART goals in the second half, which I think those two go so well in this. It gives people a roadmap that they can hold as they go through this otherwise cognitive space of change. And of course, on the website, we're going to have downloadable stuff for ASAMs, for counselors out there. If you need a quick hitter, quick reference, stages of change, some of these things that are not going to be proprietary. And obviously, I'll put links to where you can get all this stuff. And by the way, there are appendixes to both of these, all these books that have links to this, including in the ASAM one, how you can become somebody with ASAM training. I'm not affiliated with ASAM whatsoever. This is just literally my handbook after being a facilitator of groups for close to 10 years. In a way that I thought would be appropriate. There's no certifications involved in this. This is not training. I'm not trying to train you or anything. I'm just giving you a sort of helping hand here as somebody that's been in the business right now as I sort of move into other applications of healthcare in general. In closing, this is a changing field. We are going to be digitized out of this. A lot of us are, because especially when it comes to the evaluations and things like that. Yes, it does take our sort of knowingness around some of these things, but at the end of the day, they're metrics. You see increasingly evaluations come in. All they are a series of scores. And that's fine. I get it. I'm not discounting the science behind the scores, but that's easy to replicate. Okay. And so as far as AI, so you can get a very good understanding, enough anyway, especially for placement in something such as the ASAM, which is a very sort of low end of the, especially ASAM Level One, which is this. Okay, this is I don't want to minimize this, but this is, first defense type care stuff. It's not advanced drug use or dependency really at this level. And so that's going to be an issue, but we need to have people out there that have the core competencies in the training, but then also some handbooks that they could take with them to show them how actually to do this. A lot of these things we've learned haven't been updated in decades. And we always move a lot slower than society. So this is kind of where society is right now in the way that I see it, as from a frontline perspective. And in the healing pathways, it's time we get rid of this argument of science and spirit, science. Who cares? It's not humans versus, I'm not saying human versus AI, but we need to figure this out. Let's make this work and keep it human-centered so we don't lose it to the data, but we don't lose that science to machines. We keep it in it, but keep the people side of it so much more in the healing pathways. That's what I have in mind here. So with that, turn it over to you, world. Those are the two books I wrote in 2025. And I hope you enjoy them. If you have any feedback on them, if you buy them on Amazon or anything like that, feel free to contact me. Contact information is available wherever you're watching this. Thank you.